Here's something interesting. U.S. Treasury in July. Remember yesterday I was talking about going through the U.S. Treasury's July report, 34 pages, going line item for line item through the budget? Remember I was talking about that yesterday? Well, out this morning is the Treasury ran a $98 billion deficit in July. That is in the report. That's just the real number. Treasury. That's the Treasury Department. Timothy Geithner's old place of business. Now Jack Lowe. Down $98 billion. Just for 1 month, $98 billion. Here's the puzzling part. The debt in the nation stayed the same. What do you mean stayed the same? You mean from June to July stayed the same? Well, no, not really. It stayed the same from May. So from May until now, we're still showing the exact government debt of $16,699,396 trillion worth of debt. It hasn't moved since May. Well, of course it hasn't moved since May because it just ran up to the legal limit and then it stopped. Well, they've never stopped it before. They've never stopped showing what the real debt is. So here's my question. When they raise the deficit ceiling, which they will do, they being Republicans and Democrats, will agree to raise the debt ceiling in September or October, by October 1st. They'll continue to do that so the government doesn't stop. Will the clock start ticking from that point, picking up at where it stopped in May? And we will have missed, $200 billion or so worth of debt. I suspect it might. Here's the bigger problem. So the government, the U.S. Treasury Department, is borrowing money. If you work for the Postal Service or the federal government, whatever, and you participate in the TSP program, that has become a very large piggy bank for the Department of Treasury. Well, no, they've talked about it. No. They talked about the fact that they could borrow from that to try to make ends meet. Yes, they've talked about it. It's beyond talking about. They stopped talking about it in May and started to do it. So here's my question. If they're not counting that debt, does that mean that it's not debt at all and there's not going to be any real obligation to pay back the TSP program? Kind of like Social Security's been a piggy bank for Congress for 30 years. Is that what's going to happen to the TSP program? To people's savings? Wait a minute. You put that money in there last time I checked. I know you work for the government, but do they own your money? They paid you your money. Then after they pay you, they own it and they borrow against it. And there's a possibility that this debt that they owe may never show up. 866-300-9298. We'll be right back.